Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, the government shutdown may be over, but travelers still could face flight delays and cancellations. Also tonight, a marathon built for women by women is coming to Scottsdale this weekend. And industry leaders are gathering in Phoenix for the Innovation Summit, bringing big ideas for the state's next wave of growth. Those stories and more next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Arizona PBS, members of your public television station.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Steve Goldstein in for Ted Simons. President Donald Trump signed a bill Wednesday night that reopened the government after 43 days. This paves the way for airlines to begin restoring regular flight schedules and for air traffic controllers to return to work. But it remains unclear how soon full flight schedules will resume and how this all impacts Thanksgiving air travel. Joining us now with some insight into all of this is Michael Pearson, Clinical Associate Professor of Aviation at ASU's Polytechnic School. Michael, welcome. It's only been 20 years since the last time you were on, you told me, so thanks for coming back.
Yeah, it's been a while, a couple decades.
So let's talk a little bit about what's going on with the situation. Now it's somewhat settled, but I think back, and I'm a history lesson, when Ronald Reagan was president, there were issues with the air traffic controllers, and now we're in a situation like this. Do air traffic controllers, do we understand what they do well enough? Do we respect their job enough?
Oh, I believe so. I did the job for 28 years, among other things, and it was a great career. And the job sometimes is overplayed as far as stress. I think it depends on your personality type. Phoenix is a great place to be an air traffic controller because of our weather. Other places I've been, it wasn't as good because the rules are different depending upon the weather. So Phoenix is a good place to be.
Okay. So let's talk about the delays that have occurred. The fact that we've had, Sky Harbor was one of a number of airports that had to reduce the number of flights. Just how disruptive was the government shutdown to air travel in the U.S.?
Oh, it was very disruptive. First of all, we're understaffed, the controller workforce, by about 3,000 to 3,500 controllers. That's due to a government decision, a self-inflicted wound in 2011, where the Obama administration actually decided that the collegiate training institutions, as well as ASU, who has that designation, were not diverse enough. So they went in and stopped hiring for 3 years. So from 2011 to 2014, there would have been about 1,500 hires a year. There would have been about 300 to 3,500 make it through. So we're still suffering from that disastrous policy in 2014.
Can we make up for that? Is that recognized as a problem still?
We can make up for it, but there's two issues. One is the technology, but more importantly, you have to have the people to run the technology. I know Secretary Duffy's been focused on the technology aspects. There's actually a problem with that. The FAA already tried to modernize the system in 2005. They spent over $30 billion. 16% of the value was achieved as far as the contract requirements. And so that money was managed by FAA bureaucrats. If, in fact, the DOT relies on the very same people who wasted that money without large improvements, you can expect the same disastrous policies. You're not going to rebuild the system in a short period of time. The technology, minimum of 5 years, probably more like 10 years, because it's akin, to use an analogy, of trying to change a flat tire as you're driving down the freeway 24 hours, 7 days a week, because the system is still operating and it has to operate. So they can't shut down the system for 3 years to rebuild the system. The other issue, again, is the lack of controllers. It takes 3 to 5 years to train an air traffic controller. So yeah, it can occur, and I think it will. And I think they've put in safety mechanisms. The issue, though, is a lot of controllers I talk to, East Coast, West Coast, and I still am in contact with many of them, are getting fatigued. They work 6 days a week, sometimes 10 hours a day. And I think the long-term effects of the fatigue are going to keep the retirements high, accelerated retirements, so on and so forth. So there's two issues that have to be worked on, the human side and the technology side.
All right, well, let's look at big picture then. So Thanksgiving, just a couple of weeks away. Until the shutdown was settled yesterday, people were concerned how this was going to affect things. Thanksgiving travel is already stressful, some would say chaotic in some ways. Do you expect the airlines, do you expect the FAA to be on track in the next couple of days to make sure that Thanksgiving travel is at least the usual thing?
I think so. They've cut the flights. I talked to someone at the command center today at the FAA, and they've cut them by 6%, which doesn't seem like a lot, but that's a lot of flights. And keep in mind, Thanksgiving, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, is the busiest travel day of the year. People in the industry call it Black Wednesday. Airline pilots, air traffic controllers, simply because that's when the most airplanes are in the air. Everybody wants to go to their relative's house or grandmother's house, you know, for Thanksgiving. So people tend to book their flights the day before Thanksgiving. If I could give anyone advice, it would be if you're going to fly the day before Thanksgiving, make sure it's early. Most of your delays occur later in the afternoon, and it's a domino effect. So if I could give even better advice, it'd be leave on Monday or Tuesday when it's going to be less crowded. So I do believe the system will operate, and I do believe there's time to get the staffing back in. In fact, I was speaking to several controllers, and one of the managers at Sky Harbor Airport. Sky Harbor's 100% staffed. They came right back. We're not lacking controllers. Now we're understaffed, but 100% staffed as far as before the government shutdown. Some of the East Coast facilities, they're still lagging as far as getting the controllers back into work.
So are we going to learn lessons from this that could be applied if in January there's another government shutdown, because they're already concerned about that? Is this going to be something that we're going to have air travel prioritized, or could there be a situation where people said, yeah, it was disruptive, it wasn't that bad, let's just do the same thing?
You know, I guess I've been on the earth long enough to never expect the government not to repeat their prior sins. So my belief is if something bad can happen, the government will find a way to magnify that. That sounds cynical, but I've been through shutdowns myself when I was back working for the government as an air traffic controller, not a lawyer. And my hope is that there were some lessons learned, and both sides of the aisle get together and decide we don't want to continue and disrupt the system like we have in the past. But I think that'd be a little bit pie in the sky if I told you that the government's going to learn their lessons and we're not going to go through this again.
How much power, it seems to me less than I thought, do the airlines have? Because I would think that airlines have big lobbyists who spend a lot of money, and I would think they've been losing money during the course of the government shutdown when you have fewer flights. Am I wrong about that? And do the airline industry have not that much power?
No, it's actually they've lost billions of dollars, not millions, billions. And they do have power. They have their largest lobbying group is called Airlines for America. And just like all political entities, they assert pressure. And the airlines themselves were asking, specifically the Democratic side of the aisle, as early as 3 weeks ago, to end the shutdown because they were bleeding. They were bleeding cash, and the flights were being canceled. Were causing the industry as a whole a major problem. They'll eventually recapture that, but they certainly are not going to have a good quarter.
Okay. How does this affect, this is very much a hypothetical question,
Right.
How does this affect the perception of air travel generally? Because, you know, of course, and you were maybe in the business then when people talked about, oh, flying was so much fun. Pre-9/11, post-9/11 things changed a lot, maybe other things changed too. Will this affect how the average American thinks about air travel?
I think it will, but I think after 9/11, the perception changed anyway. Before 9/11, we were actually working more airplanes than we are today. But the airlines got smart. They started doing things like load factors and calculating empty seats, and they didn't need to have the same number of flights. It seems to me like air travel before 9/11 wasn't as much of a commodity as it is now, where people just use it from point A to point B, and they already have a jaundiced view, I think, of the air travel industry, which is sad, but a lot of it's brought on by the industry itself, as far as some of the policies, luggage, so on and so forth, legroom and seats. Yeah. So the industry hasn't done themselves a good favor with a lot of the strategic moves they've made. And my belief is people look at air travel today differently than we used to look at it in generations prior, simply because it's a commodity.
Yeah, those days when we used to really enjoy ourselves.
Right.
By the way, I like to fly on Thanksgiving Day, as long as it's not too bad for the pilots, the air traffic controllers, because you can just get right in.
Absolutely. Thanksgiving Day is a perfect day to fly. If you want to wait to eat your turkey later in the day, that's actually not a bad plan, because it's one of the slowest days.
Michael, thanks for being here. Appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Thank you for your time.
Next time,
all these chefs are ready to cook up a storm.
at a chef competition, the judge is killed.
Poison from a local tree, Furium.
But something confuses Neville.
How did someone manage to poison him without poisoning themselves?
Death in Paradise.
Saturday night at 8 on Arizona PBS.
Austin City Limits presents Kelsey Ballerini. And Cam.
Saturday night at 11 on Arizona PBS.
Arizona PBS deeply appreciates every gift we receive, and we are proud to take this moment and recognize our Executive Society. These supporters believe in the mission of public media and are making a real impact in our community. If you would like to make an annual gift and join the Arizona PBS Executive Society, please call the number on your screen or visit azpbs.org/membership.
This weekend, Scottsdale will welcome runners from across the country for Every Woman's Marathon. It's a race designed to create a safe, more supportive running experience for women of all backgrounds. And join us to talk about what makes this event unique, we welcome Scottsdale Mayor Lisa Borowski and Miranda Abney, MilkPEP's Vice President of Consumer Marketing. MilkPEP is a nonprofit that increases dairy milk awareness and is responsible for campaigns like Got Milk. She's also one of the lead organizers behind the race. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Miranda, let me start with you. What's the origin of Every Woman's Marathon? And I will admit I live in Scottsdale. I was going through the park not far from Scottsdale Mustang Library, saw the signs, didn't know, and then here you are. So tell us the origins of this.
Yes, here we are. The weekend is here. So the origin story goes a few years back. Over at Milk, women and moms in particular are a key target for us. And we have been on a journey to support women in sports for the last several years. And we just got to a point where we wanted to create our own event where we could design it to be specifically for women, because marathons traditionally were not created for women. In fact, for many, many, many years, until I think around 1980, women were not allowed to run in marathons, which is wild when you hear it out loud. So we have designed this race to be inclusive and built for every woman to come and get to the finish line.
So Mayor, how is this a good fit for Scottsdale? Scottsdale obviously has incredible events all year round. Why is this a good fit?
Well, it's a great fit for Scottsdale, and I'm so thankful that they decided to do their second annual Every Woman's Marathon here in Scottsdale. They're bringing 6,000 women in to run on Sunday, so we couldn't be more excited to host them. They've been wonderful to work with. We've got a beautiful terrain. We have a couple of marathons that go through all around the valley, but Scottsdale, there's not one that's dedicated to Scottsdale, so this is really exciting for us.
Well, I don't know if, Mayor, this is for you or for Miranda, but what are we covering as far as the ground? Because obviously north to south Scottsdale is when people get on the 101, it's how many exits from Scottsdale? Probably 15.
Yeah.
So what sort of areas is it going to cover in the city?
It's a great course, and they've really worked hard. The city of Scottsdale, our staff has done such an incredible job plotting the course for these women to run. It starts up at Westworld, and it wanders all the way through the Greenbelt area, Canal, and then ends in Old Town Scottsdale, right in front of my office, nearly, at the Civic Center.
Terrific.
So that's exciting.
So Miranda, let's talk about, you want this to be open for all sorts of women, and I want to get into more of what you said about women not being welcomed in marathons before. In what other ways is this going to be different? I understand there's not a sort of there's a different sort of time limit as well. So there's no rushing. You have to get done in 3.5 hours or something like that.
That's correct. Yes, we actually have a 7-hour and 45-minute window, which most women would be able to even walk the entire course as long as you can walk at a pace of about 17:45. It's totally doable. We'll have lactation stations along the course for mothers who are breastfeeding. We'll have VIP bathroom facilities with all the amenities that women like and need on course. And at the end, we will just have a huge celebration for all of these women who have come together and accomplished something truly incredible.
Now, last year was the first. Did you participate?
I did. I ran last year, and it was an amazing experience. The vibes on course, looking around at all these amazing women and sharing that one same and very challenging goal, I think just made for an incredible experience.
And Mary, are you going to be out there?
I was planning to run, and I started out a little too enthusiastically and earned myself a stress fracture early in my training.
Okay.
So I was cleared to run probably 2 weeks ago, so it just
Okay.
wasn't the right time. Next time.
Will you be at the end of race party, though?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I should also mention there's a VIP for all the women. And every woman is a VIP in Scottsdale this weekend, and there's a kickoff party tomorrow
Evening.
Okay. So, Miranda, how many states do you expect to represent?
We actually have women coming from all 50 states, and as of a couple of days ago, 10 countries.
Wow.
Yes.
That's tremendous.
Yes.
Okay. And part of that's probably the attraction of Scottsdale, but also the run.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Let's talk about the safety as it relates to women running. I saw a number, I want to say 92% of women have some thoughts about concerns. And that's not said they expect to be unsafe, but it crosses their mind. How can a race like this at least change the perception as women are supporting women?
Absolutely. Well, that's something that we're definitely setting out to do with just everything that we offer on course. And in addition, as part of our expo experience, we're going to have some panels that are devoted to women in running and safety. And there's actually even going to be a training for how to properly use a pepper spray type of protection mechanism. So really getting into the basics of safety. It's a concern, like you said, for a lot of women, and something that we heard a lot about last year. And so we are working to address it as much as possible.
And Mayor, how does that fit in with your vision of Scottsdale to make sure that people are safe all around the community?
Absolutely. Our police officers are just there's such quality, and law enforcement and public safety is such a big issue for us here in Scottsdale. And they're going to be out and, making sure everyone's doing well and their crowd is controlled. And by the way, we didn't mention there's yoga events going on for all these women out at the Civic Center, and lots
Hair
of
braiding.
Yeah, just all kinds of fun events out there.
Wow, okay.
Yes.
So we're really excited, and I look forward to seeing all the women at the finish line. And I'm sorry I won't be joining them, but next
We'll
time.
miss you, but we just so appreciate your enthusiasm for the event. That everyone has just been so welcoming in Scottsdale, and the police department has been outstanding to work with.
Well, I'm biased because I live there, but it's a great community, no question about
really
that. And also, our fingers are crossed for the weather this weekend, too.
Yes.
Maybe a little bit of rain, but probably pretty light. Anyway, Mayor Borowski, Miranda, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. So
Yes.
glad you live in Scottsdale. I didn't realize that. So cheers.
Great to have you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Amna Nawaz tonight on the NewsHour. The U.S. attorney who brought charges against James Comey and Letitia James faces questions about her own appointment. That's at 6 on Arizona PBS.
As Arizona looks to strengthen its leadership in aerospace, manufacturing, and emerging tech, a new statewide innovation summit in Arizona is bringing together industry leaders and researchers. Joining us now is Mike Madsen, the former CEO of Honeywell, and whose work helped inspire the event. Mike, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Steve. It's good to be here.
I'm going to ask you the most basic question to start. What is the Celebrating Innovation Summit, and how did it get started?
Well, it's really part of the PEI mission. PEI, or the Partnership for Economic Innovation, is really focused on fostering innovation amongst the innovators here in the Valley. So identifying the challenges they face and then helping them solve it. The summit's part of that. The summit's going to bring together all the stakeholders in the innovation economy, the members of industry, researchers, our education community, and lawmakers to talk a little bit about some of the challenges the innovators face, and more importantly, some of the work that's underway to solve those challenges.
I'm glad you used the phrase innovation economy, because I wanted to ask you, how big an umbrella is that?
Well, these days, innovation encompasses a lot of things. You know, innovation occurs when companies invest in technology to improve their products and services. And that investment generally means people, training and hiring. It means capital expenditures. It means facilities. And so what it really does is it creates high-value jobs. It helps generate business for our local suppliers, and so everyone benefits, not just the members of that business. And in the summit tomorrow, we're going to have multiple sectors of the economy represented and talking about their innovation work.
I was going to ask you first about MedTech, because when people think about, even during the course of the last downturn we had, then the pandemic, the healthcare economy has been one that has really been strong in Arizona, and I wonder if it's being strengthened. We're seeing ASU building a new med school. We've obviously got some great technology here. So where does MedTech fit in?
So MedTech is certainly one of those focus areas for tomorrow's summit and beyond. We'll have MedTech represented there, so Mayo, Banner Health, Medtronic, West Pharmaceuticals, so a pretty big cross-section. Aerospace and Defense will be represented. We'll have Honeywell, Boeing, Gulfstream, and the Southwest Mission Acceleration Center. So a little bit about how to participate in that defense economy. And then last but not least, the Chips and AI panel. We'll talk about all things AI and chips and semiconductors. That'll include Renesas Electronics, Viavi Solutions, onsemi, and again, Honeywell. So you can see there's a little bit of something for everyone there. And you mentioned diversification and resilience. That's really why innovation matters. It makes our economy more resilient. And that's really good for all our citizens.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up as well, because having lived here for most of my life, diversity of economy has been something that for years we struggled with. Tourism was obviously still very, very important. But for a long time, it really was, let's get more people moving here, let's have tourism. And yet it does feel like Arizona is becoming a leader in some of these other industries. Yeah,
all the industries we just mentioned, the sectors we just mentioned, are not new to the Valley. Some of them have been here for decades. And what's exciting is the challenges that our innovators face oftentimes cross the technology sectors, the industry sectors. So the challenges that we see in semiconductors, the challenges we see in aerospace are similar. They're around workforce, they're around infrastructure, policy, and a supplier network, a local supplier network. So when we solve those challenges for one industry, we really solve them quite broadly, and I think that's exciting.
So I have to ask you about where education fits in, because that has also been a little bit of a bugaboo at times here, not necessarily with the universities, but with our K-12 system. How can technology and innovation be improved in Arizona by improving our education, but does it also make it more difficult to attract even more businesses here if they don't quite believe in our education system?
Well, I think a couple things. First of all, there's a lot of wonderful things going on in the education system at all levels right now. We need to talk about that more. Okay. Certainly there's opportunities for improvement, but there's a lot of great things going on. And education was the #1, actually workforce and talent, which is an outgrowth of education, was the #1 thing that was mentioned by all the folks in all the different innovation sectors. Not because it's really a problem, but because they're going to need more and more qualified folks. Hiring new folks, reskilling and upskilling their existing workforce. So that's going to be a big part of the summit tomorrow. We're going to have a panel exclusively focused on workforce, and we'll talk about some of the amazing work that's going on at K-12, the CTE programs, community colleges, and of course at Arizona State and the other colleges.
A little more than a minute to go, and I promise you this is not meant to be a partisan question because this could apply to whatever administration's doing, whatever. But when it comes to Arizona was so excited about CHIPS and the CHIPS Act and how much this was going to bring. New administration came in, wanted to make some cutbacks, wanted to affect some of these things. How interesting is it to navigate right now for some of these innovative businesses dealing with the changing politics?
Well, one of the great things is CHIPS and AI is a good example. It's a lot more than just semiconductors and data centers. It's all kinds of devices, it's services, it's doctors doing therapy for patients, and the AI technologies can be brought to bear across all of those products and services. And these companies are making their own investments in this space. So I don't know that they're too nervous about the political horizon. I think they're forging ahead and they see opportunities there for Arizona.
Okay. Mike Madsen, thank you so much. And
thank you, Steve.
Good luck with the summit.
Thank you.
Great to have you here. That is all for this edition of Arizona Horizon. I'm Steve Goldstein in for Ted Simons. Thanks so much for watching.